The experiences that I think people have had that have described that I've talked to that have participated with ketamine do have a quality of going through their fear. And it also has in the dissociation a quality of running in to other kinds of entities, which I personally haven't in the experience, but other people have. And I was in a podcast with Aubrey and we were talking about it. And he mentioned doing a ketamine session where he saw this kind of entity that was testing him and stuff like that. As more people are experiencing these kinds of medicines and having, these kinds of journeys, I've questioned what people are going to come out with in terms of their stories. I felt this way when I first started working with ayahuasca. I wasn't sure what people would see because you hear in the traditional world, there's very clear stories about what kind of everyone sees. But I thought if this gets opened up to, all the different cultures of the world, we don't know what's going to ultimately come out of this, and now I'm seeing that, with, both the idea of certain kinds of legalization or simpler access. There's a tremendous room for a kind of use or misuse / abuse associated with it. There's the Western drug culture, which is very different to the ceremonial use of plants simply in the frequency that they're typically taken. So, in the drug culture, there's an increased frequency, and in the ceremonial use, there's a decreased frequency. And then I've wondered around ketamine, just what are these entities that people are running into? Where are they ultimately coming from? Are they coming from the substance itself? When you mix that substance plus consciousness, is that ultimately what you get and what's produced? And then what the outcome is? I've been fascinated by it because there's going to be a huge use of this now as a new psychiatric drug, as a new way of treating depression and anxiety disorders. And I've also questioned the nature of that dissociative element associated with it. Does the dissociation ultimately produce the results that we've wanted? And so, your discussion on ketamine is, I think, really important.